The following broadcast may contain explicit language and adult themes. Viewer discretion is advised. The opinions expressed in this broadcast are those of the hosts, talent, and guests, and do not reflect the opinions, views, and standards of Pyro Media Enterprises, affiliates, subsidiaries, or its members.
Hey. Happy Friday, Junior. Happy Thursday. Oh, I keep telling y'all as an adult, Thursday, Junior is like Christmas. It's like your birthday every week because you know that the weekend is coming and you will at least have some time to rest, rejuvenate. Well, hopefully, because sometimes we don't have that. But I'm just saying there's a promise of that. And I think that promise of that rest and that, rejuvenation is enough to kind of like, we can do this. We can push through because it is Friday, Junior, right? So I'm just going to say to you, happy Friday, Junior. This is the first episode of the month for Nicole D Vick Live. I am Nicole D Vick. And I hope you are doing well on this beautiful May. In LA, it was raining last night. I was like, I thought, we was done with that. Why are you playing with me? Weather, come on. What's going on? It's springtime. We trying to get into summer. So I guess they heard me and they stopped. So it's not raining anymore. And I'm happy about that. So with May, we got some observances coming up, some health observances, some holidays. Mother's Day is coming soon. Schools are going to be ending soon, depending on what school you're in. It may already be over. Like my school semester has ended, and I'm happy about it. I was like, you know what? Turn this assignment in, go on somewhere. Get somebody else to do it. Graduations will be happening. Congratulations to the class of 2023, whether it's kindergarten or high school or college. Congratulations. And so I just want to kind of share with you some important things that have happened or are happening in the month of May. May 1st, May Day, is also called Workers' Day or International Workers' Day, and is the day that commemorates the struggles and gains made by workers and the labor movement. All work has value. You hear me? All work has value. It is observed in many countries on May 1st, as I said. There's lots of marches and things. I know there was one downtown on May 1st. So again, all work has value. So we have to talk about May Day when we think about employees and work and labor. And also like the rights of workers, like that, y'all to be getting paid like $1 and $2, and this is a mess, right? And so we just got to spotlight our folks that make the world move, right? And those are our workers. So happy May Day. May is also African American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. Back in 1977, United States Congress chose the first 10 days of May to commemorate the history and contributions of Asian American communities here in the U.S. The week's observance became a full month, the very month in which the first Japanese immigrants came to the U.S. in 1843. We also commemorate the completion of the Transcontinental Railroad on May 10th, 1869, as the majority of workers who laid those railroad tracks were Chinese immigrants. And that's why Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander Heritage Month is in May. Shout out to our cousins of Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander ancestry. We salute you. Also in May, Allergy and Asthma Foundation of America has declared May to be National Asthma and Allergy Awareness Month. asthma and allergies are huge, right? I have been lucky. I have not had asthma or have asthma, and I don't have allergies. But I remember my grandma's cousin had asthma, and in her older years, child, she passed away from an asthma attack. I guess she didn't have her inhaler or something happened. So asthma is nothing to, take lightly or to ignore. We also know that in certain communities, mostly black and brown ones, where there's lots of pollutants and stuff in the air, can aggravate our young people's lungs. And so they often have higher rates of asthma. So, this is not something to be like, well, just get your inhaler. This is huge, right? Nearly 26 million people in the United States have asthma. I had no idea. And about 20 million people in the US have food allergies. I have a friend has a severe allergy to almonds, child, severe. So, again, these months are designed to bring awareness to some important health issues that often are not just healthcare issues, but public health issues as well, right? Next one I want to talk about is one that I think is big because a lot of us don't get enough of this and we need to do better. May is also Better Sleep Month. So I'm going to say this, y'all, this month need to make sure you get more sleep. One thing that I have started to do, but I will admit, I don't do all the time. I have put this thing on my phone where at a certain time at night, the phone will go gray. So, of course, the phone is in full color, but at 11:30 p.m., the phone will go gray as a signal like, girl, go lay down somewhere and go to sleep. Of course, I turn it off and put the phone back in color and stay up until like 1:30. And then I don't do it. But do better than me, okay? Do better than me and actually get some sleep. The top impediments to a good night's sleep vary by age. And this is according to the Better Sleep Council. Boomers and Gen Xers are more likely to say body pain impedes their sleep, while worrying about money is the most common sleep obstruction among Gen Zs and millennials. I'm like, see, that's just, it's bad enough to be stressed out while you are awake, okay? To, working and living your life and, moving about. But to have that mess with your sleep, that's all bad, okay? For Gen Xers, I'm a Gen Xer, the top 3 impediments to a good night's sleep. 42% report disturbances from body pain or aches. Now, I did have back pain, and it woke me up out of my sleep about 2-3 weeks ago. I was devastated and traumatized. This ain't never happened before. That told me I was stressed out. Second one is report worrying about money or finances. 40% report that. And 27% repeat being too warm. Now, I hear you about that one. Because sometimes I need all my blankets and stuff. But if it get too hot, you messing, no. Okay. So make sure you get your sleep. Maybe set an alarm clock to trigger you to go to bed, and try not to be so stressed out. I know it's hard because there's a lot going on these days. Folks' money ain't right, job ain't right, family ain't right, but do your best at least to make sure you get your sleep, because you really can't operate in the world if you are not rested. There's actually, this popped in my head, the nap ministry, y'all, for Black folk. We need to reclaim our rest. Look at the nap ministry up on Instagram. Also, this month is Clean Air Month. It's observed each year across the U.S. The month focuses on ways we can contribute to make our air cleaner. Now, I got some tips and some ideas here. And one of them I actually do already, and maybe you can try it too. Take public transportation. I literally take the bus and the train to work 3 days a week. And one of the reasons why is because baby, you ain't finna take my $8 to park Felicia. And are you going to wash Felicia? Are you going to like give her a detail or something? She just going to sit there and I'm going to pay you $8 for that? No, absolutely not. I will be taking the bus and train to work. So that's one way. There's also biking to work. I actually used to do that too. True story. I used to work in Watts, and I would put my behind on my bicycle, get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, get my behind on that bike and ride 10 miles to Watts and back. I used to do it because we had a shower at the office. So that's also an option if it's safe. And, you can always carpool. Telework also kind of helps with clean air and whatnot. So there's options that, you might want to try to see if you can, reduce your contribution to the pollution in the air. And so there's some tips for you. Let me know how it goes. Now, the public transportation, it'd be real interesting. You see interesting people doing interesting things. And so, you just got to learn how to just stay in your lane, mind your business, right? And I have a couple more. National Mental Health Month is also this month. I had no idea that this had been a thing since 1949. The National Association of Mental, oh goodness, I'm gonna mess up the acronym, but it's NAMI. I should know better. I didn't write it down, and I'm like, what is NAMI? But they're a mental health organization. They work to raise awareness about mental health, to fight the stigma associated with mental health, provide support, educate the public, and advocate for policies that support the millions of people in the United States affected by mental illness. And two more. May 12th is International Nurses Day. I've said this before. I love nurses, specifically public health nurses. Have spent the last 20 years working with public health nurses. Awesome people. Love them so much. Thank you. National Alliance on Mental Illness. My brain be gone. But May 12th is International Nurses Day. And so, like I said, I love public health nurses. We have had one public health nurse on Nicole D. Vick Live at least twice, Jamila. And she's always a source of wealth and information and knowledge. And I just really have a special place in my heart for nurses. Even when Andrea was born 26 years ago as a preemie, those nurses, I didn't know what was going on, child. I was 17, 18 years old. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. Those nurses helped me learn how to bathe her, helped me understand what I was supposed to do with my child. So nurses always have a special place in my heart. Matter of fact, too, I'm going to share this tidbit and then we're going to move on. I wanted to be a nurse. When I was undergrad, I said, well, fine. I failed biology. I don't want to be an engineer. Let me think about being a nurse. But then they made me go to anatomy class. And then I was like, nah, man, because y'all got me cutting this cat open. I can't. So that was the beginning and the end of me thinking I wanted to be a nurse. I probably should have stuck with it because them nurses be balling. They be driving like Mercedes and stuff. But I just couldn't do it. So that's my nursing story right there. Beginning and end, literally in a semester. I was like, nah, man. So I just lived through Jamila and, pretend like I know what I'm talking about. And the last one is World Tobacco Day, World No Tobacco Day. Very important. It's an opportunity to inform and remind people that tobacco is bad, period. Cigarettes are bad, period. I live in California. We have some of the most stringent tobacco laws. We have also some of the lowest smoking rates in the country. We have raised the smoking age. You used to be able to be 18 and buy cigarettes. No, 21. And so we've done a really good job, but there is always more education, more opportunity to help people let go of them cigarettes. They're highly addictive. I'm not about judging people about what they do, but the truth is those things actually are very harmful. We want to keep kids away from these things. They have also had policies around removing like flavored tobacco because those types of things attract younger folks like teenagers and younger into smoking. So World No Tobacco Day is May 31st. So there's someone in your life that you want to help with resources. There's, you can just Google it. And this is a global observation of trying to remove tobacco and advocate for healthy living for future generations. So plenty of opportunities to get involved. There's lots of things, all these observances. There are events and ways to make a difference. So I encourage you to go online, look up what's going on in your community and see if you can pitch in, right? So we are going to go to a commercial and then we're going to do a recap of last week and talk about what's coming up next. Hey!
This episode is sponsored in part by Bullet and Flight Radio. Get ready to uplift your spirit with Bullet and Flight Radio, the world's leading progressive Christian radio station. Experience the vibrant fusion of gospel house music and a rich medley of inspiration from all musical genres. that'll make your heart soar. Join their extraordinary lineup of today's trailblazers, visionaries, and voices that matter, all sharing their stories and wisdom. Stay plugged in around the clock as they broadcast unmissable content 24/7. Your go-to station for all things inspiring. Become a pilot today by visiting bulletinflightradio.com. Bullet in Flight Radio. Your story, our station.
And we're back. Hey. So let's talk about last week's episode of Nicole D Vick Live and Pushing Through. So I decided to run a rerun of an episode that I and Andrea and I did with co-pastor Irvin. She came on and really had a great conversation with us about, there was a TikTok from a woman named Deja Blue, and she was like, okay, parents of adult children, if your kids don't talk to you, you know why they don't talk to you. And it's because A, you were probably abusive, to them as children. B, you probably was, invading their privacy. And, before well, they're kids. They don't have no privacy. Yeah, to some extent, you got to let kids have some autonomy. And she really was talking about stuff like you was all up in their diary. Your kids would say something to you, and you turn around and you're talking to your friends about what your kids said when your kids spoke to you in confidence. There was all these things that she was talking about that really oftentimes play a role in how relationships are between an adult child and their parent. And so I had talked to Andrea about it. I was like, man, watch this TikTok. This is crazy, right? And so the idea came up, hey, let's talk to co-pastor Irvin and have a realistic, discussion about stuff that us as parents, because, as perfect as I am, I mean, I'm a Virgo parent, baby. As perfect as I am, sometimes I make boo-boos and mistakes, right? And I think the important thing as parents, even if we have done things when our children were younger that weren't the best for our kids, it's really important to be open and honest, transparent, and have conversation with your kids, regardless of the age. If you are wrong, adult parent, you wrong. And you need to own that and have dialogue with your kids, because then your kids will be open to speaking to you about stuff that, when they get in trouble or have an issue, they'll be more likely to come to you because they know they won't be judged. They will be helped. They'll be talked to, encouraged, and so it's like you want to create a situation where your kid, even if they know, like, I have done the worst thing ever in the world, I got to call my mama. I got to call my dad. I got to talk about what's going on. And they know that they'll be met with, okay, well, sure, a parent can say, girl, you done messed up, but how can we fix this? How can we move forward? How can we, yes, hold you accountable, but at the same time, I'm still going to guide you. I'm not going to be like, girl, you jacked up, I'm going to leave you. There was actually a moment in that episode where I got emotional because I said that. I said, I will never leave my child. I don't care what the heck happens, right? And that should be the way that parents feel about their children. Your children do not belong to you. That's the other part as well. So your job is to kind of help them grow and do their own thing and become their own person, and not to instill, well, I don't know why you're doing that. Okay, well, this is your choice and your decision. There may be consequences to that. But if that is what you want to do with your life, okay. Right. So that whole episode was really informative. I'm really glad we did that episode. I've heard that has been one of the favorites that we've done because it was open and honest. And I'm really grateful to Deja Blue for that TikTok, because that's how it sparked the whole thing. And I actually did reach out to her and tell her, hey, we built this whole episode around something that you said around, parents of adult children. Like, y'all be doing some wild stuff as parents and then don't want to apologize. And it's just a mess. So anyway, that's what we did last week. And I'm going to talk to you a little later about what we're going to talk about next week. But before we head over to that conversation, I want to talk to you about my social media. So, I live on social media. I probably do too much social media, but it's fun. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm on the TikToks. And so I'll just kind of share some things that I've kind of touched on over the last week or two that may be of interest to you. There was a really cool graphic that one of my friends put up. She is a coach around sort of helping people find six-figure jobs and whatnot, right? And leaving behind sort of the corporate thing if they want to do that too. But anyway, she had posted this infographic around psychological safety and how important psychological safety is. And one of the things she said was, a lot of times you hear supervisors say, well, if you would have just been open and honest with me, I would help you. And then, I reposted it and said, the evidence, the literature, and personal experience totally discounts that, because we know that if you are a Black and a Black woman, your psychological safety is sort of is the right word, tenuous. I think that's the word. That's the word that's in my spirit right now. Tenuous, like you walking on a fine line, right? And oftentimes, for us, we have to decide almost moment by moment at the workspace, am I going to say a thing or am I not? And if I say a thing, what are the consequences of me saying this thing? Okay, so let me back up a second. Psychological safety, because I forgot to tell y'all my dissertation is on psychological safety, is really about, do you feel like you can be your authentic self at work? Can you say what you really think? Can you make mistakes? Can you speak the way you normally speak? Can you come to work as your full self without any repercussion? And for a lot of people that look like me, the answer is absolutely not. Because there is always a cost to being open and transparent when you are a Black woman. Because it's like, if you really want to know, do you really? And for me, I'm like, do you really want to know what I think? I don't think you do. I don't think you do. And so for a lot of us, the decision is, I'm just not going to say anything. And what I said in that post, when I saw her post, is that the problem with that is, and I don't own that problem. It's not my problem, but the choice to remain silent to protect my safety in the workspace, and not just me, there are other Black women that feel this way, is that it wears down our bodies. There's a concept called weathering. So you hear the term Black don't crack, and that very well may be true. On the outside, we be looking good. We be 55, 65, 75, looking like we 30. Absolutely. The problem is, because we are psychologically unsafe in our workspaces, we face oppression outside of work and in other ways, it starts to wear us down on the inside. So the next thing you know, your blood pressure is high. You are pre-diabetic. You have anxiety. You're having panic attacks, right? That's what the silence costs you. That's the price you pay for saying to yourself, if I open my mouth, I am not safe, so I will stay silent. That silence is killing us slowly. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm studying in my dissertations and in my work in school. Like, are we psychologically safe in the workspace as Black people? And I would argue that the answer is no, but we'll see. I'm doing qualitative interviews, semi-structured qualitative interviews, finding people across the country that work in the same industry that I'm interested in and interviewing them. So I got to get through my dissertation I'm writing. And as soon as I'm cleared to move forward, I will be doing that kind of research. And I'm really excited about it. So that's what was going on LinkedIn. I'm so blessed that my feed on LinkedIn is curated to what I want to see: social justice, women in the workplace, Black folk issues. So take the time to curate your feeds on your social media so you don't start seeing stuff that's harmful to you, but that is helpful and informative. Okay. Now on Instagram, Instagram, I'm still sharing my nail look of the week. I am getting more courageous, more creative, more likely to say, let me try this. I don't even know what this is, but I'm going to try it. And I'm sharing more and more of my process with you all. Back in the day, it was more so here's the finished result, but I'm actually showing you to some extent, like, this is how I created what you see in front of you. And those are really fun. So I'm doing that. I am in a nail art competition, but today was a key day to get to first place in sort of this next round. And as of right now, I don't think I made it, but that's okay, because baby, I'm nail artist number one in my life. Did y'all hear me say that? I am nail artist number one in my life. And that's good enough. Now, the $5,000 would have been nice, but it's okay. So anyway, thank you if you voted for me. I so much appreciate that. It's always hard to put yourself out there like that to ask. And I had to really come to grips with, wait a minute, Nicole, you are good at this. Don't downplay that. Are you an expert? Do you have a license to do nails? No. But what you are doing with what you've learned and acquired, you're good. And it's okay to claim that and be okay to say that. And so I'm at that space like, no, this isn't professional. I have a license. That's fine, because I'm only doing my nails, but I'm good at it. A lot of people can't do what I do, even now. And that doesn't mean I don't think I can grow and get better, but I can still claim that now. And I'm excited because this kind of helped me see that. And then last but not least, TikTok, baby. I'm going to say it like I say it every week. If you want to see the real me, TikTok is where it's at. Okay. I was running my mouth about staying in your lane on TikTok the other day. And the reason why it came up is because I got into the habit of comparing myself to other people. And I'm usually the person that says, do not do that. I tell my classmates, there's one classmate, she's like, oh my gosh, I'm behind. Who are you behind? Who are you behind? How are you behind somebody? This is your journey. You're not behind. And so I was always telling her that, but then finally, I think something happened. And for me, it was finally my turn. I was like, no, I'm behind. I was like, I'm behind. And so I made a TikTok and I said, have you ever seen those videos where there's the relay race or the marathon race or the whatever it is race, and there's people running and someone's in the lead. They about to win this race, and they turn around and they look behind them, and in doing that, that person passes them up and they win the race. There's value and importance in staying in your lane, because if you are not looking ahead and you looking back to the side around, you about to mess up. You're not worried. You worry too much about what other people do when you need to be worried about yourself. And one thing I said was, I am dishonoring my journey by focusing on somebody else's journey. That don't make no sense. Don't dishonor your journey by focusing like, oh, what they doing? Well, how come they over there? Well, how they so far ahead? Child, you are dishonoring your journey. Don't do that. So it was like, stay in your lane. Because the other thing I said to myself as I was walking and talking into the TikTok camera, I said, how will you know when the light goes from red to green? How will you know your opportunity for you to go and move happens if you're busy looking up on either side of you? You're going to miss the light. You're going to miss it. You know how you be behind somebody in traffic and they looking in their phone. And it's like, girl, if you don't go, the light is green. If you looking everywhere else but in front of you, you will miss the green light. So don't do it. Don't dishonor your journey. Stay in your lane. Keep your eyes ahead. Like the horses with the blinders on, put your blinders on and keep going forward. And don't worry about what other people are doing. And I'm telling y'all this, but I'm really telling myself. Okay, so that was one thing I was talking about. The other thing is another health announcement. Child, everybody is all up in arms about this throat cancer, about linked to oral sex. Excuse me. We've been talking about this for at least 20 years. Trying to tell y'all wear condoms during oral sex and dental dams, but nobody didn't want to listen. And now the throat cancer rate is going up. What y'all doing? HPV, human papillomavirus. There are certain types of HPV that are linked to cervical cancer and other types of cancers. Okay, so you just have to be careful. Choose your partners wisely. Now, it's kind of hard to even say that because human papillomavirus is actually one of the most commonly sexually transmitted infections. But still, you should try your best to choose your partners wisely, limit the number of partners you have. I'm not saying don't have oral sex. I'm not saying that. I'm not. But you just got to be careful because they are starting to see an uptick. We knew that there was a connection between the human papillomavirus and cancer, specifically cervical cancer in women. But now we're seeing the throat cancer and stuff like that, the oral cancers happening. You can also get a vaccine. I know there are certain restrictions on that vaccination based on age and whatnot. Check with your doctor on that. Okay, so don't forget, follow me on social media. All my handles are the same. Nicole D. Vick. Again, TikTok is the latest of them all. If you're not following me there, I don't know what you're doing. I don't. Okay, so let's get into next week. And we about to get up off of here because it's Thursday. It's Friday Junior. And I need to go make me a nice dinner and enjoy my pre-weekend. Okay, so next week, Dr. Kalfani will be back. And Dr. Pyro will be back. I was like, oh my gosh, both of them are available and they're going to come. I am so excited to have them both back on. I want to talk about abortion. There's been a lot of movement on abortion since the Roe v. Wade thing went down. And there's some other stuff that's happening. And I wholeheartedly admit I don't quite know all the things. So I hope to learn a lot from both of them next week. Dr. Kalfani is an expert on reproductive justice. So I'm looking to her to lead this conversation and really provide us with a lot of knowledge. So the episode is going to be thought-provoking. It's going to delve into the multifaceted issue of abortion from a public health and social justice perspective. Both of them are experts in the field of reproductive health, public health, and healthcare. We're going to examine the complex social, ethical, and political dimensions of abortion and explore its impact on public health. So, we might be talking about the history of abortion laws, access to reproductive health care, and the health risks associated with unsafe abortions, okay? So we're going to have some insightful conversations, some informative analysis to hopefully increase your awareness and understanding of this very, very important role of reproductive health care and how it plays into public health, okay? All right, y'all. So see you next week. Until then, I have a whole website, www.nicoledvick.com. Visit me there. If you need a speaker, a moderator, an MC, you need me to come on your podcast and talk about public health, social justice, nail care, whatever the things, you need me to train some staff, I can do that. If you want to read about my life, how I got to be the person that I am today, the shoulders I stand on, you can pick up my first book, Pushing Through, Finding the Light in Every Lesson. If you need a journal, you can pick one of those up because I wrote one of them too. It's called Push Through, 52 Weeks of Light in Tough Times. Woo-hoo. Otherwise, I thank you all for listening. You know, I was getting a little bit emotional about staying in your lane. I really was. So if you listen to that back, you probably could hear that in my spirit, that it was really touching on me, because I said, Nicole, you need to stop dishonoring yourself, stay in your lane. So I'm telling you that too, stay in your lane. But in the meantime, you can pick up books, visit my website, check me out on social media. I'm a very nice person, very easy to speak to. If you need some help about anything, I do my best to help you. So I will see you next week. Until then, take care. Bye.
If you enjoyed this content, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to Pyro Media Network's YouTube channel for more awesome content. Plus, don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss when we go live or upload new videos. Visit pyromedianetwork.com today, not just to check out our incredible roster of talented creatives, but also to gain access to exclusive bonus material available only to our Pyro fam. Show your support for this Black-owned indie network by donating today. Help us keep igniting brands everywhere.